everybody, Keith here, and today I'm going to be going over the Tazer. I've got another video that I was working on that had some information about the Tazer, but I've had a lot of questions asked about it, so I figured I would just do another video showing how to install it and some of the features of the Tazer. So what I've got right now is I've got it set up, and here's one of the nice things you can see about the splash logo on the B right there. That is going to go away, actually, unfortunately, with the Tazer. So that is one of the problems, but you're going to get a lot of other features on there. So what I really wanted to do was just go in and show you what some of the stuff looks like, and then I'll do the install, and then show you what it looks like after. So the first thing that we're going to do is install the Tazer into the ODB port, which I've already done. So didn't want to bore you with that. And then what we're going to do is go on to our center screen, and we're going to go down to the radio on here, which is going to be audio on number 6. If you can see that right there. And what we're going to do to activate the Tazer, we're going to hit cancel and arrow back. Yeah. Okay, and the first thing that shows up on here is light show. Light show is a feature that allows you in situations, let's say at car shows or anything like that, when you're going out on a Saturday night, that you can set up a light show to be programmed where it's going to flash the lights in different arrangements. Could be based upon music that you're listening to or just in a random way. So that's one of the things, and it does have to be plugged into the ODB port for it to work. A lot of the other things do not have to have the actual Tazer plugged into the port. This one does, and then also your drive line lock. That is another one that has to be plugged in. So normally, everyday use, you're not going to go around running that plugged into your port. Okay? Next one we're going to look at, and I also do want you to take notice of the font on this. It is just straight up and down, real thin font. That is going to change. It is much nicer when you activate the SRT8 pages on here. Okay, so we got the light show. Next one is going to be Sport 5-speed. And that one we don't have to worry about because we've got an 8-speed. And this one is the Sport 8-speed. What this does is it kind of overwrites your transmission. When you have it in Sport 8-speed, it actually, instead of it being park, reverse, neutral, and drive and low, it actually changes that low to second gear. So you can change that if you want, and then put it back so you can drive and start out in second gear. Next one on here is SRT set. We are going to change that. I do want the SRT8 pages. And what you'll do is you'll hit the cruise and the back arrow, and it will reset everything to the SRT8 pages. Okay? Turned off, turned back on. Now I did lose the bumblebee on the center splash panel, and that is something I don't like, but you know, whatever. I've got to put up with it because I want the other pages. Okay, now we're going to go back to the number 6, I believe, on here for the radio to get back into the Tazer, and we're going to hit cancel and arrow backward. Oh, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Okay, there it is. Performance set. And what this does is this allows you to change your some of the splash screen panel, and when you have the SRT8 on there, that it's going to give you some extra performance dials. It'll give you the ones that come with the SRT8 rather than, so it'll give you extra gauges essentially. Paddles, yes, so I have the paddles. We're going to keep the paddles on, but if you had aftermarket paddles from the factory installed, then you would want to put those on also. Tire pressure monitoring system, that is on. It's set on premium, or on premium, I guess. But what that does, if you are running drag radials, you want to turn that off because the tire pressure monitoring system won't work properly. So I have it set to just my standard wheels and tires, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Camera engage, and that's for when you're doing reverse. You back up, the camera, the reverse camera will engage on this display over here. So we're going to leave that alone. Drop, this is for the daytime running lights. And as you know, on the regular standard setup, when you have your daytime running lights on and you turn your blinker on, your daytime running lights actually shut off. I like to keep those on, so I'm going to keep that on and change that to off. Daytime running lights USA, I'm not going to change that. Sometimes it takes a couple times hitting these buttons. Drive line lock, we're not going to touch anything like that. That again is for going out, doing burnouts. It will actually shut off the rear brakes so that you can just sit there and do burnouts and not have to worry about keeping the pedal pressure on as much as you normally would. Yeah, sometimes I'm having a little bit of difficulty with these. Alright, fogs engage. If you have fog lights, that is going to turn them on. I do have fog lights. Next one is fog light drop. And what this is, if you turn on your high beams, your fog lights will shut off. I don't want them to shut off. I want them to be on. So again, I'm going to hit the cancel and the arrow back, so I want those on. Belt ding. That is, so when you don't wear a seatbelt and you're sitting in the seat, the sensors will go off and it'll chime. I'm going to leave that on. I don't mind it. I wear my seatbelt all the time, so I'm not really worried about it. Steering Scatpack. This has two choices, Scatpack and SRT, and it allows you to change the steering so that it's a much stiffer steering. I'm just going to leave it on Scat for right now. Camera grid. That is on the backup camera. When you're backing up, it'll show you if you have the wheel turned where you're going to be going. I'm going to leave that on. DVD. I don't have a DVD player in here, but if you want to add an external CD or DVD player, you can use that. STP engage. I don't know what that one means. I'm going to have to do a little research on that one. Oh, I think that's... no, I don't know what that is. Okay. Drive mode. That is where you can change your drive modes, and there'll be a transmission mode on here from the Scatpack to the SRT8. And I'm going to change that on yes. Leave it alone. And the transmission, change that from Scatpack to the SRT8. Yeah, if you notice, sometimes I'm actually pressing this 2 or 3 times. Shift light indicator. What this does is when you're shifting, it'll have a red arrow that'll show up for you to shift. I'm not going to worry about that. Splash screen. So that's this screen right here. Remember how at the very beginning I had the Bumblebee and then now I have the Charger? You can change that to either the Charger or Challenger, whichever one you've got. Or you can have it on the Scatpack, which shows up the Charger Challenger, or you can have it as a Hellcat. I'm just going to leave it on the Scatpack for right now. And Eco Mode. I do want to do Eco Mode. So in your SRTA pages, you have Eco Mode and Valet. And what that does is it allows you to run on, the majority of the time, 4 cylinders. Going to give you a little bit better gas mileage. Some people don't even like the 4-cylinder coming into play, but I don't mind it. That's one of the reasons why I get about 20-something miles per gallon with the vehicle. Okay, so that is it. Now what we're going to do is turn it off, let it sit for a minute, and then we'll open up the door. That kind of resets it. You're supposed to actually get out of the car for about 15 seconds, but we'll see how it goes. Alright. Actually, I'm going to even start it up. Turn on the air. It's getting a little hot in here. Okay. Let's see if this worked. Might not have let it reset long enough. Alright, so it did, actually, so it's nice. So a few of the things that you can see that are a little bit different, like I said, in here when you're looking at the font, you look at the 19.5, it's a little bit thicker font, and it is at a better angle. So just a little bit different on here. It's going to give you different performance pages on here in this. Lap time, lap history, top speed, 0 to, well, these are in kilometers. I'll have to change that. Okay, you can see all those. And then also over here, so here's what I'm talking about on the differences with the SRTA pages. Before, I could just change my paddle shifters, or I could change the traction control. This is much more intuitive. So I have a custom, a default sport and track mode. Track mode is set a certain way right there. And then also sport mode, and then again custom and eco mode. So the eco mode is the one that I used, and I did another video with it, the hypermiling video, and that got me about 28, almost 29 miles per gallon going to Tucson and back. I like that. The other thing is the valet on here, which you don't get unless you have the Tazer. And what this does, allows you to, when you go to a valet, you can set this in. You put a four-digit code in there, and the valet will only be able to go up to 2,500 RPMs and starts out in second gear. So that's something I like. There are also some other things. Let's see, I do not currently have the Uconnect set up on here. So let's see if I can get the performance pages with this. No, I don't have it. So that's one of the things that I'm going to have to either pay for or just deal with not having it. But again, here are the drive modes, and this again is really, really nice. Alright, so if you have any questions about it, let me know. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, share the video, and subscribe. Thanks a lot, I really appreciate it.